The idea of frontier for me in Canada is about our reconciliation with First Nations and Indigenous peoples. I want to understand my local area and how settler colonialism manifests here and recognize the settler mindset. I decided to create a book to record my research and thinking processes about decolonization in my community. I begin with the conventions of mapping: north, east, south, west. A world map, folded like a fan, contains the context for frontier. The creases are transparent latitudes of silent divisions between us, segments of time by degree in between the so-called global north and south, continuous latitudes of entitlement and disenfranchisement. The concept of mapping has had a tremendous impact upon Indigenous peoples for centuries. Since it was first developed, the Indigenous ways of orienting themselves on their lands were redefined. My place in this world is on the unceded traditional and ancestral lands of the Chiadna, First Nations, who call it Smets-Shosin, meaning big fish, in reverence to their relationship to the seal and salmon. My approach to this research is to locate myself on the maps from nativeland.ca. And I started with the global and moved more and more inward towards Canada, then British Columbia, then Vancouver Island, and then finally down to my local area on Vancouver Island in Chosin. Each section contains fragments of bits of learning, quotes, ideas, and thoughts. At one point, I decided to turn the book around and change the direction from north, east, south, and west so that it's not so comfortable, this change that we have to make. Turning the book makes you have to change. And again, on each section, I continue to collect little bits of writing and research and practice turning the maps around. I locate myself, and then I add more information in about settler colonialism and about the local First Nations groups here and the community and how they approach the history and the language and the naming. Place names are one of the most important things. I start to discover that through all of our documents, public documents like the district's own website and the Museum Society and other groups have a very particular take on the names. Of course, all of the names have been changed from their original native names to names of settlers who came here, took the land, began farming and raising families. This is the end of the mapping section, and then the new section is all about the languages, and I use the red ribbon to sort of indicate that, the languages and how I have tried to decolonize some of the writing. So all of the pink highlights are things that I've identified through my research as being either distortions of fact or the rewriting of fact, or totally neglecting the native history to be included in these writings online for the Museum Society especially. The red feathers are a reminder about the First Nations groups and the culture here that is actually overwritten by groups like the Museum Society. I deliberately chose to fold the pages so that you have to actually unfold it and turn the book around in order to read the materials. Again, it's that forced gesture where, you know, at one point I thought to myself what it must have been like feeling your world be upside down by these colonial settlers who just move in and take over the land and your people, and instituting law and practices that are completely foreign. And that's what it would be like, is completely turning your world upside down again and again and again for hundreds of years. These are the pages yet to be completed. And at the back is the other part of the inlay page from the National Geographic mapping of Indigenous people around the world.